Will, I guess the key word for you as an individual and as a member of a team is frustration, I would imagine, at the moment, to come off the pitch, certainly on Tuesday, without testing their goalkeeper. That's a moment of real frustration for any striker.
Yeah, definitely, especially for me, like you said, as a striker, but for the team in general, I think it's a difficult one at the moment because, the game, if you look at the first half, 45 minutes was, they had slightly more possession at times, but didn't really threaten our goal, and then had a penalty that they scored. And then second half, you come out, and I thought we actually started really well. It's probably our best spell in the game, the 10 minutes after half time. And then obviously you concede from a free kick, and it did knock the stuffing out of us a bit, to be fair. And we've spoken about that. Obviously, it can't happen. But if you look throughout the game, you sort of bypass just. If you ignore the last sort of 15 minutes, it was the sort of two moments in the game that completely changed it. And we went through the clips. There was probably 15, 20 nearly moments for us that if you turn one or two of those into good chances or goals, then I know it sounds stupid, but goals change games. And unfortunately, we were just on the back end of two disappointing ones. But if we can just step it up a gear, we're actually closer than that performance maybe showed us.
And you're right. It's moments, isn't it? It's the pass that way instead of that way. It's the decision making in the final third that. Well, no, actually, decision making all over the pitch, actually. But it's those moments that just aren't quite going right at the moment.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We spoke about the game after, and we watched large parts of it back because, like you said, we went into the dressing room after, and there was a lot of frustration, a lot of disappointment. But if you actually broke the game into different sections, there was parts that actually showed sort of what we wanted to. Like you said, not in the final third, but the build up and into the areas that we worked hard on was actually okay at times. But like you said, we need to put all those pieces together to complete the jigsaw, and then in the final third, or it's not just the final third, it's not the attackers that we're sort of necessarily saying, but to finish 90 minutes without a shot on target is not acceptable for us.
You've always been a very hard-working player, and all over the pitch again on Tuesday night. But you were maybe covering more ground than you should be. I think I want to see the striker up scoring the goals rather than coming over the halfway line to collect the ball. And it's just those things that fans look at, and they I suppose MK Dons are a victim of expectation more than anything else this season.
As a squad, especially after last season, we wanted it to be a really positive one and carry on where we left off. But the squad's completely different, and we sort of had to accept that. And we've got a lot of new players in that are young, inexperienced, and we're trying to get that blend and learn as quickly as we can on the job. So yeah, I had a slightly different role the other night in terms of we thought that we could leave Matty Dennis 1v1 and cause a problem that way, with me dropping a little bit deeper to link it up. And like I said previously, that definitely worked at times, and we've watched the clips to prove that it did. Me dropping down and linking it, and then obviously trying to hit Matty on the longer one. But it just, we were half a yard off the pace, and like you said, a little pass decision maybe should have gone left and we went right, or a little bit of lack of quality. But overall, it's something we've worked on in training, and hopefully we've got to put right as quick as possible.
I don't want to dwell on Tuesday night, but just one more question on that, if I can, Will. The fans, it's not often you hear booing at Stadium MK, but the fans booed post-match. And do you think they had a right to boo?
Booing's a strange one for me. I'm not a fan of booing. I don't understand it. It's not something I would ever do, and don't really understand. But if fans pay their money, they can do whatever they want. I guess that's what people say. So. I completely understand the frustration. We lost a game at home 2-0 and didn't have a shot on target. So it is frustrating, but it's frustrating for everyone. Us as players, we work hard every day to try and be the best we can on a match night, and unfortunately we weren't good enough. So it's one of those things. We need the fans. Us as a group have to stick together, and it's sometimes the fans can suck the ball into the net. So it's one of those things. We have to take that on the chin and put on a performance that they enjoy and is worthy of a good reception. So I understand it, but it's not something I would obviously encourage, and we'll be doing everything we can on Saturday to put that right and give the fans something to cheer about.
You must enjoy working with somebody like Matt Raw. He's got energy. He wants to do everything within the space of seconds. and then working along with somebody like you that's got bags of experience. That's a great combination. Are you enjoying working with Matt?
Yeah, Matt, he's a great lad. He really is a good lad, and he's willing to learn. Like you said, his raw athleticism, his pace is, if I had a little bit of that, I'd be pretty pleased, to be fair. But yeah, no, it's like I said, it's really good to work with. He listens. He wants to learn and get better. So it's something that I'm trying to help him with. You sort of forget how young he is, and he's been thrown into the deep end quite quickly. To be fair, it's probably his first real season. Obviously, he had last season as well, but to be the striker in a league, strong League One team, he's been thrown into the deep end, but he's doing well. He's one of those things, like you said, he's such a threat in behind, and if people leave him 1v1 and we can find him in the right areas, he will cause problems. And then I think at Morecambe as well, he showed his good composure in front of goal, took his goal really well. But he's a nice one to work with. Like you said, I'm trying to pass on sort of my knowledge to help him. And there's definitely attributes in my game that I can use to help him. And likewise, if he can stretch teams and create gaps in the 10 positions and further down, then that will help us as a team as well.
And up next against the manager who brought you to Stadium MK, didn't he? Carl at Oxford?
Yeah, he did, yeah. Obviously, I was at Brentford and brought him in on loan, yeah.
What kind of match are you expecting from that one at Oxford?
It's a tough game. I think, Oxford, it's never an easy place to go. You sort of expect that they'll have a similar style in terms of playing out from the back and wanting to play football and get into the final third and create chances. Typical sort of Carl Robinson's side, to be fair. And they've had some good success, obviously, over the past 3 or 4 years. They've always been in and around the playoffs, lost in the playoff final, so it's going to be a tough game, but it's one that we're excited for. It's obviously a good place to go. The fans will enjoy it as well. It's a nice close one, and obviously with Carl being there, there's a little added extra bit of spice. But yeah, it'll be good. We've had a good training day today, and obviously everyone's really excited to put that Tuesday performance behind us and get 3 points.
Thanks, Will. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, mate.
When it comes to training, you guys have obviously not had an awful lot of it recently. Obviously, you had last week, and now you're going to get next week as well. How important is that going to be to get this gelling sort of period done and dusted, and make sure you're all on the same page? Yeah,
it will be important. It's by the time the season started, we still had 2 or 3 bodies coming in, so it's difficult. But it will be good for us. Like you said, we've had so many games recently. Saturday, Tuesday. It doesn't give you that many chances to work on the training pitch. It's sort of one group will be recovery, one group will be training, so it's to get the whole group together. As we've been limited with that, so after Saturday it'll be a really important time where we can iron down some things on the training ground and make sure we can work on areas that we feel need improving.
I suppose it's one of those things though, isn't it? If you win on Saturday, you think, oh, we'll want to carry the momentum on and you want another game quickly. That's
exactly it. It's tough. It is really tough. Like you said, going into that week, it will be a lot more exciting and a lot easier if we finish with those 3 points. And like you said, momentum in football is everything. It's massive. But a lot of the players, some of the younger boys that have, some really inexperienced boys in this squad, and they're sort of having to learn on the job and watch clips and learn that way rather than actually walking through it on the training pitch. So it'll be a really important period for us. But if we can go into that with 3 points, that'd be fantastic.
It doesn't seem like you're having any sort of hangover issues from the injury that we saw rule you out earlier on this season. How's everything going with that and the recovery of it? Obviously you're back on the pitch, but are we going to see you playing 90 minutes soon?
Hopefully, yeah. It's to be fair, the club have been great with me. Obviously, the manager, the staff, and the physios, etc. It was the nature of the injury. Obviously, just because of what happened last season, I just had to be really careful, and it's not something that I can be playing around with. So we obviously managed that with the 35 minutes, 45 minutes, and went from there. But yeah, I'm still getting there, obviously. But in terms of myself, I feel good, feel great. So hopefully, I can sort of battle through and play as long as the manager needs me.